Guess who got himself a housing voucher? Yep, this guy. What up, guys? Total Control 871, and I am still in a state of disbelief. I really don't. I can't believe I've actually made it this far. I have a housing voucher for an apartment, not a room rental, an apartment. From what I understand, it's not Section 8, but it's very akin to Section 8, mainstream housing voucher. Uh, I think it was yesterday or day before, or something like that. I went for my orientation meeting. My social worker drove me up there, and it was quite a ways away, near Tom's River or something like that. And so we're there and we're getting the details, the breakdown on this housing voucher program and how it works. Um, it's assistance with renting an apartment to low income people. That was there with a class of other people. Obviously, I can't even begin to speak for what their personal individual situation is. All I can do is speak for me. And yeah, and we're there, and as the housing placement manager is handing out the individual packets, because everybody's situation is different, and basically when she comes around to me, she points out, what the program pays and what I am to pay. It was extremely affordable. I was very, very pleased with how affordable it turned out to actually be. And for a moment there, I was. You have to calm yourself down because it's like, let's not get carried away with this. We've been down this road before where happiness is on the horizon and it all goes tits up somehow, some way. So, mm. Yeah, I get my packet, I get my housing voucher. The way this now works is I have 60 days, 2 months to find a place to an apartment complex that will rent to a housing voucher person. I've been doing some dialing around. I was definitely surprised to see that there appears to be a couple of apartment complexes that are willing to work with a voucher. The price of the one bedroom apartment is well within the scope of the voucher itself. Um, I'm like, okay, you have fears and anxiety. Uh, Although the rental office person that I was speaking to, how can I say this? How can I characterize it? She's on the phone, she's talking. Okay, yeah. I know what you got. I know what you got. You got a voucher. Okay, this is the way it's gonna be. Da, 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 da. She knows about the. She was basically rattling off to me everything that I heard at the orientation meeting. So, number one in the plus column, although she's very kind of like apathetic, you kind of get the feeling, oh my God, I've been dealing with you people forever. So it's like, I didn't have to do a whole bunch of explaining to her. So, and obviously they are indeed, it's a complex that does work with and rent to people with vouchers. Now, that's a hodgepodge mixture of good and bad. When I went out looking to dial around at different complexes, I know don't aim too high, don't aim too low. First of all, Atlantic City is completely off the fucking list. I'm not living in Atlantic City. Fuck that. Um, but you don't want to go too high because obviously you dial snooty panooty, what you call it, places, and they're gonna be like, you have a what? About what is voucher? So they're gonna be snooty panooty. They're gonna look down on you. And then there's the opposite of that, the polar opposite of that, where people like our the realtor that I spoke with today. I have to be guarded. If I don't end up renting with her or with something akin to it, I myself have to be guarded. Are they taking in, all right, fresh meat for the grinder? All right, we got another state funded retard. Let's get them in here. And they try to pull a bunch of you know, they think that because of your disability that they can get over on you basically. And they can do a lot of things that they can cut corners on their responsibility, because you enter into this contract. A contract, it is a two-way street. Not only am I supposed to meet my financial obligations and my part of upkeep of the property, but the realtor has to also uphold their end of their contract and upkeep of the property. And what happens here is that, like our, what was it, Louis Krisky, The Super, our Joe Pesci movie, The Super. What happens here? What causes those kind of slumlord conditions? Because if I want to be fair to the Louis Kriskys of the world, okay, it wasn't just simply all his greed that led to those the movie didn't go on to explain that, but it wasn't just simply a bunch of slumlord greed that got them to that part. What happens is you have ghetto ass tenants that do fucked up shit, and the slumlord will be like, I could hold this against you and start the eviction process, but I'm a good guy. Yeah, right, good guy. And I'll just look the other way. And what's unspokenly, unofficially understood between the two parties is, yeah, well, so what if the hot water ain't working? Just like I look the other way, you look the other way. And it's a progression like that ends up in these fucked up slumlord conditions. So I feel I got a good grasp of the situation as to what causes it. So yeah, I have to be worried about that. So when, if something like a hot water issue, or water is coming in through the window ceilings, if I bring that to management's attention, I'm gonna expect that to be resolved. I don't want to hear any kind of fucking the fuck are you complaining about? The bulk of your rent's taken care of. Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll get to it. Yeah. And then they don't get to it, and it's always presumed that I don't have to dot my I and cross my T, because eventually, aren't you going to be doing fucked up things? Like, aren't you going to be like smoking weed in your apartment, and isn't there going to be like a whole bunch of liquor? Aren't you going to be late with your part of the rent? Aren't you? A whole bunch of ghetto-fied shit. That's what they're going to be expecting and kind of banking on it, because it helps to relieve pressure from them, from having to uphold their responsibility. So I'm fearful of situations like that unfolding. But anyway, I cannot believe I actually have a house. Now, having said all that, there's still a whole bunch of hurdles left to go. The housing voucher is just step one. After that, we have to locate a place. After getting the place, and the place is willing to work with a housing voucher, what then comes next is securing security deposit, because it was difficult enough paying in piecemeal, or so I thought I would be, paying in piecemeal a security deposit for a room rental, like with community enterprises. There is no fucking way I could come up with, it'd be about $2,000 for first and last month's rent. Fucking forget it. And hopefully I'll be able to get some help with turning on the utilities. So these are the next hurdles to be cleared. And I think there are some programs out there that can help with furnishing, but like I said, I'm not even so much worried about furnishing. I'll sleep on my damn cot, if that's the case. until I can. But yeah, I can't believe it. If all goes according to plan, I could indeed be out of the woods by the middle of summer. I can't believe it. Um, God, I've just got such a connection to this, to Camp Evergreen. I don't. There's a lot of anxiety with that. A lot of anxiety living in close quarters and with urban people and all of their hang-ups. You know, you know, all of their hang-ups. You know, I have indeed encountered problems renting because it's gonna sound weird, but because of my clean and sober life. I rented a room in uh, Ventnor, 18 South Nashville, Ventnor Avenue. The guy's name is Bart Arntz. Yeah. He kicked me out because of my clean and sober lifestyle. He rents a great deal of rooms out of that house there. It's a 3-story house. There's a lot of 3-story houses in Ventnor. I paid my rent about $600 per month. We had the same bank, so I transferred. So there is indeed a paper trail. I cannot speak for the intimate details of Mr. Arntz's finances, but I would think that he's not paying rent. Not paying taxes on his rental money that he receives. So if the IRS wants to do anything about that, well, I tell you what. The Northfield branch of the FBI, they have my contact information, so you can just go ahead and reach out to them. And yeah, you won't need a search warrant. I'll grant you access to the records that shows that I paid. Yeah, but he kicked me out, threw me out, because my clean and sober lifestyle pissed off the fellow tenants. They smoked a lot of weed, whatever you may think of weed, and drank a lot of alcohol. And it wasn't that they thought that I was some sort of undercover narc. It wasn't a paranoia situation like that. But it was a paranoia situation where when I would come home, I would go up to my room and they'd call me back. They were all just about, how can I say this? They were Jersey Shore, middle-aged white men. Jersey Shore, very Jersey Shore, very lunk-headed. Anyway, so they would like call me down and be like, we're all down here talking. We want to know what you think of us. They thought that I was judging them for their drinking and drug use, which if you just kind of stop and pause and cook on that for a moment, because I mean, what if I was judging you? Big fucking deal. People judge everybody every day. Who am I? you know, I'm somebody at that moment that if not for the room rental, I'd be homeless. You really give a shit what I think of you? Maybe you should fixate on getting yourself together, dude. You're like in your 50s, renting rooms. Your life is falling apart because I think a couple of us there were brand new room rentals and whatnot. So, what? Put it like this. I never once gave a shit about what any of them had to think about me. I don't give a fuck. Apparently the sentiment was not shared. But anyway, yeah, Bart Arntz, he told me that I had to get out because I called the police on the one guy because he physically assaulted me with his cigarette. So and I asked Bart, I say, well, what exactly is that I'm supposed to be doing? What do? You hit him. Like I said, very Jersey Shore, very lunk-headed. Why would I do something to initiate so obviously cops aren't, In that kind of situation, when the cops respond, everybody's either going to get arrested or given summonses for disorderly conduct, simple assault, whatever the case may be. It ends up, as far as personal charges, and what it's supposed to do? Mexican standoff, everybody drops their charges. But we all got a paid ticket. Bart doesn't care about any of that. He's just simply himself worried and paranoid that the cops are showing up at his illegal room rental place. Again, 18 South Nashville Avenue in Ventnor. Bart Arntz. So, yeah, so it's I have to be very careful. People, they will judge you. I know you're judged for living too clean. You're judged for not being dirty enough. Why is it so difficult to simply live in peace and quiet? Why? And I'm already working myself up. It's supposed to be a happy, it is a happy video. It's a happy video, but I'm already being consumed with anxiety because of other people's fuckery. I'm already, anxiety from their vices, from their issues, from their troubles. In case you guys didn't know, because I told you guys I've have like 25 years of room rentals, with good old Sister Irma. Because she was, a church parishioner. That's who I rented with the bulk of my life. Church parishioners and senior citizens who were church parishioners. I mean, they kind of, they had their quirky ways, like Miss Burton, the Jewish lady. I didn't disrespect her Sabbath, or Passover. I think it will have to come into Passover now, right? It's like, I don't know exactly when, but she'd let you know. She'd be like, all right, Passover is beginning, and there can't be any bread or anything with leaven in this house. It didn't matter. I'm a bachelor. I eat out every day. So, like I said, it worked very well. So that's the kind of renter that I am. Very peaceful, very quiet, very, very drama-free. Hey, the only drama that I've ever had in my life is because of the cop and the police tyranny. That's it. I mean, why do you think I was in my fucking 40s before having contact with police, in an aggressive fashion? Until then, I lived a very, very quiet, peaceful life where I just went about my life working and paying and providing for myself. But yeah, what time have I got here? 18. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. I got a housing voucher. I got a housing. Oh my gosh! Like I was thinking the other day, I was like, I cannot believe it. Does this mean I'll be taking showers every day? Every day. Like a normal person. Holy smokes. There's a lot that I miss and look forward to. And then there's a lot that has me on edge and very anxious, very nervous. I'm worried that the type of complexes, apartment complexes that I would be moving into, the caliber of renter are going to be criminally motivated or drug motivated. One complex that I called, the lady's like, yeah, because I was asking, like, is it pretty much, calm over there? A lot of criminal activity. She's like, well, I'll tell you now, honey, there's a lot of kids over there. A lot of kids. Yeah, a lot of kids. Okay, I guess I'll go off onto a rant about welfare states. And, I just, one of my people that I follow, that I subscribe to, Cyclist 117, he and a buddy of his are riding their bikes across the continent of Africa. And he's on a Surly. Yeah. And they just passed through Ethiopia, and they were so... Ethiopia was such a they had to do like this 20-minute recap talking segment. Matter of fact, I'll link it down below. And check out what they had to say about Ethiopia, because for those of us old enough to know, in the 80s and 90s, Ethiopia was such a world crisis of famine. Long story short, what apparently has happened in Ethiopia is welfare exploded and appears to have corrupted in the worst possible way an entire country. I'll leave it to Greg and Dan to explain to you. They can do it a bit better than me, rather than me eat up a bunch of time. But there is zero motivation for these people to do anything for themselves. Probably of their story that they told, one thing that I found surprising was when they went to a restaurant to get something to eat, even when they flashed American dollars, they really didn't give a shit, because after all, there's zero possibility of starving to death in Ethiopia. Zero. They can explain more. All right, guys. As far as showers go, I'm about to head out for a shower now and get myself cleaned up. I got a housing voucher. I cannot believe it. Woo! Check it out. Black riders out there, prepped for flight. Heading to the shower. All right, guys. Total Control 871. I got a housing voucher.